In 2017, more than 200 million barrels of beer were sold in the United States. It is the most popular alcoholic drink in America and has been so for some time. And today, 19% of beer sales in the US are from smaller, local breweries. 9% more than only 10 years ago. This means there are more choices for beer lovers than ever before. When you find the right brew for you, it's easy to ask for another beer, please. Me, my, mo, me, my, mo. Just makes sense that Mojo should be in the first one.
I think so. This
Okay.
is fine. It's casual, right?
Yep. Hey everybody, I'm Lawrence.
I'm Sarah.
And this is Another Beer, Please. Alright, so our first video review in this rebirth of Another Beer, Please is going to be my favorite beer, Scotch Ale, from one of my favorite local breweries, Powderhaus Brewing Company. Now, we're actually taking you on a visit to the Powderhaus Brewing Company where I get to sit down and chat with the owner, Tyler Schmidt, and lots of cool things to talk about with Powderhaus and all that. So check out that interview after you check out this review. So you'll notice that we're using Imperial pint glasses, not because one is better than the other. It's a 20-ounce glass. This is a 22-ounce bottle. You can also get their phenomenal Evans Gate Scotch Ale in cans, so you can take a six-pack home. And apparently our cat Mojo really likes this beer.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So, pouring the beer. Now, first of all, may I?
Yep, please.
Okay. Got to pour the beer aggressively. Got to get a head on it. Now, obviously, I'm not sharing that much.
No, it's good head though.
Yeah, head's always good. Now, the reason why you want a good head on your beer, you don't want a flat beer poured all the way up to the rim because you're going to lose all the aromas, all the flavor that comes from releasing the CO2 upon pouring a good beer. So when you're enjoying a good beer, yeah, you can drink it out of the bottle, you can drink it out of the can, but your best way to enjoy a good beer is drinking out of the glass. This head is settled pretty quickly because we poured it for a photo earlier, but it's still phenomenal beer. All right, let's have our first taste.
Right. Oh, cheers. So rude.
Cheers. Reason to drink again. All right, you remember the first Scottish ale we tried?
Yep, that was Kilt Lifter from Four Peaks in Arizona.
Tempe, Arizona, Four Peaks Brewing Company. They have a phenomenal Kilt Lifter Scotch Ale. I thought I'd never find anything close to that because I loved that beer. When we came to Boise, Powderhaus Brewing Company wasn't open yet. Came back to Boise. We're both from here originally. But when they opened and we went and tried them out, they had this phenomenal porter, a very cool double deadfall Imperial Red Ale. I mean, it was just so cool. Then they came out with this, and I just fell in love. Now, you can go to all kinds of websites and get all kinds of tasting notes about a beer.
Right.
Here's these kind of hops. It brewed for this amount of time, and we sprinkled the fairy dust on top afterwards.
So much snobbery.
So much snobbery. We're not about that. You know what? Tasting notes, we're going to describe how it tastes and why we love this beer, but ultimately it's your taste that determines what is a great beer and which beer you're going to ask for another one and another one and another one. We just hope you try out the beers we share with you so you can find out what we like and expand your own palate perhaps a little bit as well. So Scottish Ale. Scotch ales are dark, but you'll notice it's not completely opaque. I love stouts. Some stouts you cannot see through. But a Scotch Ale, they're going to be a little less opaque, but they're still going to be a lovely caramel brown. They're going to have... How would you describe the aroma? What do you smell when you smell your beer?
Well, the first thing I noticed for me is this beer is brewed with brown sugar. A lot of brown sugar, so you will get that note also with the malt. But it's not thick, it's not super rich. It's not gonna taste like syrup because of the brown sugar. So the first thing I smell from just, tasting, I'm gonna start over. So the first thing I noticed...
No, she's not.
Yeah,
we're not cutting. We're not
yeah,
cutting.
we are. So the first thing I noticed when I just smell the beer is definitely the malt and the brown sugar. You get the hint of hops, but it's not overpowering because it's a Scottish ale, which is, you don't want the hops to overpower any Scottish ale. If you do, there's something wrong with the beer.
Right. See, this is one thing I love about Scotch ales is they are balanced. Yeah, you've got strong malts, you've got that touch of brown sugar, a touch of sweetness. I've had Scottish ales that were cloyingly sweet. I mean, it did, the mouthfeel was syrupy and gross, and you could have maybe half a beer before you were ready to cleanse your palate.
Or they put the wrong hops in there and it was just
too bitter.
Too bitter or just too...
Piney?
Piney? Nah. Imagine trying to taste an old Band-Aid.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Now with with Evans Gate, now this is the creation of Tyler Evans, the master brewer at Powderhaus Brewing Company, and I love this man because of this beer. It's incredibly well balanced. Touch of malty sweetness, balanced by the right kind of hops. They took their time brewing this, and it's really delicious. There's not a nuttiness like some other Scottish ales will have. Not that peatness, because a lot of Scotch ales will have a very smoky flavor. Scotch ales can go from a light, easy drinking ale all the way to a heavy, powerfully smoky, rich and darker Scotch ale, and everything in between. This is more towards the drinkability range. I can drink Evans Gate all day long.
And we have. And
and we've paid for it. This is 7.4% ABV. So that means it's got a little bit of a kick to it. Your average beer is probably 6% or lower, and I really enjoy drinking this beer.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have a couple too many, and it's like, ooh, I'm sleeping in tomorrow morning. Now, Evans Gate, great Scottish ale. They have it available in the 22-ounce bottles. You can find those at Winco. They also have the 6-packs of Evans Gate in the can, and they're expanding their distribution. They take care of all their distribution. So if you go into a store and you don't find Powderhaus Brewing Company beers, go tell them, hey, where's your Powderhaus Brewing Company beers? Because local beers are great. And it's Idaho local craft beer, Idaho Craft Beer Month.
Right.
I know, our cats are wrestling.
Our cats are wrestling right behind the camera.
So here's to Idaho.
Here's to Idaho.
Here's to Scotland. And here's to Evans Gate, a beautiful, beautifully balanced beer. It's going to be very smooth, not heavily carbonated. It's got a real nice aroma to it that's malty, and like you said, just that touch of hop to give it a great balance. It feels good going down. It tastes phenomenal. Now, if you've got a friend who doesn't like beer, they probably won't like this because this is very much beer. I mean, it has a strong beer flavor that I love. But
I did want to note on what you said. It doesn't have a lot of carbonation, which means it doesn't fill you up, doesn't make you feel bloated. The alcohol content's going to hit you faster than your stomach with being bloated, so which is dangerous. It goes down very smoothly. That's one of the best things about this beer.
And I think it's a great beer for introducing people to something other than a Pilsner or a lager that they might be typically used to drinking. Cider fans probably won't like this, but they might have a chance because it does have that sweet, bitter balance to it. Coffee lovers are going to love Scotch ales. And just anyone who likes a good, balanced, incredibly flavorful beer that isn't going to overpower you or make you tired of drinking it after the first one, you've got to go get Evans Gate Scotch Ale from Powderhaus Brewing Company. And that's another good reason why we love beer.
God damn it.
What? That's one of the reasons we drink beer, right? How many of us do belching contests for drinking beer?
Well, that's true.
Don't let her fool you. She can rip them out like anybody. So, is there anything else you want to share before we call it a day for Powderhaus Brewing Company?
All I can say is after this, I will definitely want another beer, please.
Maybe I shouldn't have belched.
No, it's fine.
Oh, what a snobs, we never belch. Could have come out the other way.
No, it's fine.
If you're gonna drink Scotch ale, you got to talk like Scotland. Like a Scotsman. Apparently I've already had one too many.
Already drunk. Okay.
This one's empty.